Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the Duval Dive. Of course, I am Kyle Nash, a student of the game of Jaguars on SI. And listen, training camp happened, but you may notice I look a little bit more like Clark Kent than Superman today. It's because after going to Greece and doing triple or training camp duty in that heat, I am playing a little bit hurt. Maybe you notice my voice is a little different. And if I try to the bing, that didn't sound too bad. It may not sound great. Moving on forward, but things that do sound great, me talking with my personal champion about the events of Wednesday and Thursday training camp. By the time this airs, they'll probably be wrapping up Friday training camp. We won't have those details because, we be trying to cover the ish. So we ain't going to have it for this episode. It's okay. We'll keep you locked up on Twitter. Follow us. You see the SOTG, of course, Travis D. Holmes on Twitter and all of the social things. But enough about all these, housekeeping things or whatever. Let's bring in my personal champion, Travis D. Holmes. Country. What's going on, brother?
I'm doing well, bro. I almost had a heart attack. You had me in a sunken place for a second. I was like, oh, help me. Let me out. Let me out. Yeah, I was in this box, bro.
You were just extra excited by the new intro, I think.
I was. Yeah, I was.
I don't know if everybody saw the championship ring in the shot. I did not do that on purpose, but I wish I had so I could sound like I'm a good video editor.
I see. I got you.
Even though I'm Clark Kent, I'm repping the black and gold banneret with my pullover. So shouts to Jeff Sharon for making that happen. Finally getting some black and gold banneret swag. Anyway.
Okay.
Enough about that. Speaking of swag, see, this is what we call a segue in the business, Travis D. Holmes. Throwback uniforms. I know the Duval Devout have been clamoring. As somebody who is not a true member of the Duval Devout, I always appreciated the old logo. No disrespect to this version of the Jaguar ahead. I think it's clearly the best one. But I always like the full body Jag logo and all of that that goes on in the logo or in the throwbacks. You're getting them, Duval Devout. Your prayers have been answered, Duval Devout. Is that the appropriate way to say it? I don't know. Travis, how excited are you for that?
Oh no, I mean this has been a long time coming. I think fans were itching for it like crazy. They to the point where they thought it might not come at all. Other teams were getting their announcements, we're talking a month beforehand. So finally it happened. Everyone's happy. Everybody's got their jerseys. And if you don't already have them, oh boy. The matte helmets also dropped. And now with that taking place, I can't imagine how many future paychecks are already going for the folks out there, man. I feel for y'all already. I pre-feel for you.
I mean, it's July. It's Christmas in July. You're not supposed to have two Christmases. That's a lot. That's a lot on the wall, y'all. But I mean,
Christmas is canceled, bro.
Yeah, listen. Well, no, it's not canceled. You know what you're getting.
No, I'm talking about. No, I ain't talking about. I'm buying all the stuff for me. I don't know about y'all kids. We gonna pray for y'all.
Oh, okay. It's like that. Well, anyway, I know you brought up the white matte helmet. Sure, we'll spend more time on that than we will who's calling plays, because I think both these headlines are a complete waste of time. I'm sorry, white throwbacks are a waste of time for me. White is boring. What are we doing here? And listen, I'm consistent. I've had the same take with the black and gold banneret whenever they did the white space uniforms for them. So no, I don't. Yeah. You got two of the you got one of the more interesting color palettes in the NFL. You've thrown it back to white. I don't get it.
We had that conversation. We just disagree. I respect the white. All white. I think it looks nice. Like I truly do. So the fact that you think it's not, I'm just like, hey man, we all got problems. We all are imperfect. Obviously, you must be colorblind. I get it, bro. I understand. I pray for you.
See, you do realize that white is all the colors mixed together in one. Right?
Exactly. So you don't know what to expect. You confusing yourself. I understand, man. It's fine.
Yo, hey, listen. I'm not declaring win, lose, or draw, but that was fun. No matter how ridiculous those white helmets are. Anyways, so with all that in mind, things that aren't ridiculous, Travis Holmes, man, we had the conversation. Let's get the victory lap in. Tyson Campbell, next one to extend with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Listen, you're the DB on the panel. I feel ways about the contract such that it is, but you talk first, man. This is your house.
Hey, no, man, we talked about it on the episode right before it happened, why it made total sense for this to happen before training camp started or at from my perspective, it needed to take place before the first week of training camp was over because I didn't think Tyson should have stepped on the field and risked getting an ankle injury, risk getting a hamstring, risk any of these things that could potentially throw off the rest of his season because it would hamper all the negotiations. And we've seen a few examples of that in the past. The more recent example would have been Yannick Ngakoue. Like, I'm just like,
Yeah.
stay away from that. If you can get this thing done, if you're reasonably close, put ink on paper and wrap this sucker up. And he did. Before he ever stepped on the field, congratulations, $76.5 million, the highest paid non-Pro Bowl cornerback in the league. It's a solid contract, and if you're talking effective guarantees, I mean, it's not even close because you're only in the 40,000, in the 40 millions, as far as actual effective guarantees, as far as that's concerned. So let's say for whatever reason they want to relook at this 2 years in the future, that's still in the realm of possibility, and I think that's a solid deal from all sides.
Yeah, then combined with a $16 million signing bonus. I mean, listen, I am one who tends to roll his eyes when corners get a big deal because my opinion is like for all the talk about limitation with running backs, that goes just as much for corners. I feel like their shelf life is the shortest just because Father Time's an a-hole when it comes to speed. I mean, that's the facts of the case. If you're a dude that could be like a Troy Vincent and convert over to safety and extend your career from perfect, if you could do your best Jarian Jones and be somebody who could be one of 4 cornerbacks, whether you play safety or not, right? That works. However, with Tyson, he's young enough, he's talented enough, and I think another piece too is you and I have voiced concern. Hey, what about the new scheme? He was asked about that yesterday at camp, and I also mentioned this point in my article on Tyson Campbell's extension on Jaguars on SI. Bing! I'm not breaking news. I'm just analyzing, Travis. Don't feel threatened. You still did a beautiful job with your observations on BigCatCountry.com. Bing! See, I'm playing hurt. The bings are so-so.
I got you.
But he, when asked about it after camp on Wednesday, he said that he feels like this more aggressive style of defense, this more attack style of defense, this more versatile kind of defense, asking corners like him, who he feels he's an aggressive corner, he thinks it's a fit. And I would wonder if the reason they were aggressive in locking him down is because they've, in their mind, in the Jaguars' mind, they've locked him in as a fit in there. So I think there's a lot of things that go right. And obviously the conversation is going to turn next to Andre Cisco, right?
And yesterday, Ryan Nielsen said the exact same thing. And by yesterday, I do mean Thursday morning, right? Coach Nielsen himself said something along those same lines, that while this is part of the evaluation process to confirm what they already believe, the belief is that he is actually the prime candidate for running this defense, and that his skill set, his bag of tools fits perfectly within what they expect of their cornerbacks in this scheme. So now it's just confirm what they already believe, but the pen is already to paper. They've signed him based on what they believe he's going to do. Now they got to coach him up to try to just show that on the field. And honestly, first 2 days of training camp, he's shown it.
Listen,
keep that going.
I got to say this here. Regardless of how the season goes, this is objectively a good off season for the Jaguars, right? Throwbacks come out, new stadium, signed Trevor extension, signed Josh Hines Allen extension. See, I'm getting better with that. Signed Tyson Campbell extension.
Signed Foye Oluokun.
Thank you. Extend Foye Oluokun, one of my favorite players. Yeah. I mean, the list of the foundation is very well in place, and it's formidable. The next big signing I expect to happen would probably be Andre Cisco, and then I'm going to start pounding the table, not this offseason, but in the upcoming offseason, to get a lineman that's worthy of being that foundational guy. And then I think this franchise's foundation will be complete. What say you?
I mean, I think fans are going to want Travis Etienne to be part of that conversation, and I know why they would, but honestly, I think it might be someone like a Travon Walker. If he puts up another 9-10 sack season, he will be next in this coming off season, right in line for them to get that done, because they're going to want to get it done early for the exact same reason. While they have, before that Trevor contract hits, you may be able to front load the contract and try to squeeze that in there before everything kind of hits the fan.
I mean, the best news for Jag fans that want Etienne, hell, I want Etienne to stay just because I think he's dynamic to watch, cool guy to talk to. The advantage he has going is that running backs are at a lower dollar amount.
Right. So that gives them additional team control because the franchise tag is just not what it is in any of these other positions. Again, you have multiple punters who are higher paid than punters and kickers that are higher paid than the vast some solid running backs. Like you're talking middle of the pack, above average running backs. You have punters and kickers making $6 million a year, and
Wow.
you have running backs that's not even making that. You know what I mean? So like from that perspective, if you can tag a running back at this point, you have ETN under team control for another 3 to 4 years. We're talking about it now because we want to get ahead of it early, and I understand why they would do that. But at the same time, you got time. You got time. I wouldn't stress it.
Oh, we're only setting the table. I mean, yeah, I thought it was more interesting to talk about than more clamor about who's going to call plays. But I'm talking trash today. I'm spicy, Travis Holmes. Gracious. Anyways, shouts to my dude, John Shipley. No, I'm too. It's funny. Somebody thought John asked the question about play calling on Wednesday morning, and he actually didn't. He's like, that wasn't me. It wasn't me. No. Shouts to my editor, John Shipley, Jaguars on SI. Of course, shout to Gus as well at Big Cat Country for the coverage that's been going on there. Extra shouts for other people with great coverage so far. Our good friend Jamal St. Cyr and T Wiggs looking pretty solid out there, as well as me.
Yes.
Shouts to all our favorite people that we saw out there, part of the Jacksonville Jaguar media core, so to speak. If I'm leaving somebody out, it's not personal. I'm playing hurt. I only remember so many names. Anyways. Oh, shouts to Big T too, Demetrius. Anyways. Zach Goodall as well.
Zach Goodall, Jaguar, yeah.
Yeah, Jaguar. Anyways. So that's if you need more, I'm out. Anyways, let's talk about actual football, Travis. As much as training camp is actual football, the first 2 days have got fans chirping already. And I think it's time for us to do an intervention to get people to step away from the edge. Everybody's all, oh, the offense is so bad. And I don't know. What is it that we talked a little bit on the YouTube channel, Duval Dive YouTube channel, about our observations from the first day. Bing! By the way, and subscribe to that. We're only a handful away from being able to stream live through that channel. So please jump in and do that. But I mean, what's your feel so far of what you're getting from the team in the first 2 days, sans what's coming out Friday here?
Well, it's interesting because a lot of fans and even some media. Again, I had this argument with 3 people in the media after practice on the first day. Some people are just a little bit far on to one side, saying that it's been bad, it's been rough, and all these things, and kind of just getting to a different level than I personally feel that's deserved at this current moment in time, as far as the offense is concerned. They've only been doing red zone periods. 7-on-7 red zone, 7-on-7s, red zone 11-on-11, and they're doing it without pass. So there's no risk of running game also that we're looking at. So you have no threat deep. You have no threat for running the ball. So as far as pulling linebackers up and play action and things of that nature, you have no real risk of you can sit on routes. You can kind of just do that as if you're a DB or if you're a linebacker. And because of all of that, I'm like, all right, so most people normally say, hey, offense has the advantage in 7-on-7 and 11-on-11. Yeah, that's technically true. Unless you're in red zone, then it's different. It's a different situation because most of the time you're just going to see man coverage or some version of man coverage. It's one of the match coverages. So, and at that point, what are we really doing? It's just it's flag football at that time, and we have some solid athletes on this defense, and we have a solid coaching staff on this defense. And Ryan Nielsen said it best on Thursday morning. He said, hey, my guys know there are certain route combinations they're just not going to get when you're down in the red zone period. And they have great football IQ. And Coach Chris Richards, he coaches them up. These are Ryan Nielsen's words. So he's telling us up front, hey, man, we do have an advantage in these situations. Meanwhile, the Jaguars in 2023, the offense struggled in offensive situations because they struggled against man coverage. Well, they brought in BTJ and they brought in Gabe Davis. What do? They extend the field. They make the offense more vertical. What can't you do in red zone? You can't get vertical. So there's a reason the coaching staff is practicing these things in training camp, because this is when you practice these things to try to work out these kinks and figure it out. They're on day 2 trying to figure something out that was an actual serious. This is one of the few problems I would call serious problems, like core problems from 2023. And they're day two and trying to figure it out. Give him some time, give him some grace. This is not the time to walk to the ledge. Come back, go and grab a drink. Come, walk around the block. Come back in the field. It's fine. We're good. Give him a few days. We should be good.
Yeah, I like everything you say about the lack of space, and the way the route trees are recognized. Taking nothing away from your dude, Caleb Johnson at linebacker, making some excellent plays on day one.
Boy,
just seeing Jarian Jones look pretty good himself. Tyson Campbell. I know the statement's been made that he's putting BTJ Brian Thomas Jr. through hell, but you know what? I think that's good for the young man. Hey,
that was never his game coming out of college. I mean, everybody always said, I want to see him get off press coverage. That was like the main critique for him coming in. This is what we want to see because we hadn't seen much of it on tape. Watch him get off press, watch him actually run a full route tree. Though we saw the route tree part, that's dope. That's great. But press coverage in red zone, that's kind of almost all that is. And even saying that, he had two opportunities, one on Wednesday, I'm sorry, and one on Thursday, where he had the ball in the touchdown in his hand on moderately open, one wide open plays. If he catches those two balls, the narrative around him is significantly different. Everybody's saying he's in this lockdown, he's in shoe factory, whatever you want to call it. And I'm like, if he just catches the balls that hit him in the hands, that he's open, NFL open on, we're not even having this conversation. So let's not over exaggerate two plays. And that's kind of a piece of that.
And this is the development process. Yeah, I agree with you on that wholeheartedly. And then there's those that are panicking about Trevor throwing interceptions in practice. Boys, let me tell you, fellas, friends, ladies, gentlemen, I got to say, what you have is a receiver core that's basically rebuilt, right? Zay Jones gone. Calvin Ridley's gone. You bring in Gabe Davis, BTJ, who's also a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned the aggressive play with the linebackers. By the way, you have a defensive coach who's known for attacking and playing more aggressive offense. Meanwhile, you have Trevor who's trying to get chemistry with two new guys who may be in the top three in the damn depth chart as new arrivals, right? And then Trevor Lawrence a girl dad now. You think he ain't been a little, taken aside? So, yeah, let's settle down a minute.
Well, I don't want to go too far either side, because now I feel like we're getting to a point where now I feel like I have to argue against where I'm hearing it sounds like we are. I don't want to give too many excuses also to the offense, and I don't want to give too many excuses or too much rope to Trevor Lawrence also, in saying I don't want to see turnovers. I don't want to see interceptions in training camp if I have an option. This is the time to make these mistakes. This is the time to figure that out and work through that, because there's a reason that they're doing red zone, is to work out those kinks and figure out
easily the worst part of the offense last year. I don't think anybody's
going to figure out the chemistry with the offense and figure out the spacing for all the different new receivers and things like that. So I fully agree with you there, but I also don't want to give them too much grace in saying, I don't want to see the hero ball. I don't want to see the late throws. I don't want to see the throws that's too far inside. I don't want to see throws that's put too far in, that's put in a hole that probably shouldn't have been thrown. And I can objectively say all three of those interceptions from Trevor Lawrence specifically were those were those types of throws that shouldn't have been thrown, throws that were thrown late. One, the out route to it was the out route to Gabe Davis that was intercepted by Ronald Darby. It was late and inside. Again, I don't know if Gabe was late, was deep on the route. I don't know if Trevor just simply threw it late. You won't know those things. Same thing with the interception that Dewey got on Trevor Lawrence on Thursday, when he was throwing it to Evan Ingram. He threw it to a spot where I'm pretty sure he didn't even see Dewey. It was just one of those, I want to put it in this hole. I thought he was open, and I didn't see the safety on the other side of him. And Dewey picks it off. And then the same thing happens when he's throwing it to Gabe Davis. Dewey picks him off again because Campbell falls in coverage and I'm sure he doesn't see Dewey coming from the other side.
Right.
And he throws it, and it's an interception. It's like the Pittsburgh Steelers interception from last season. Everyone was banging their head against the wall. You don't want to see those because you've seen those from Trevor, and he's going to give you those. And that's the reason I say some people, I understand them freaking out just because it looks like something we've seen before. But this is still the time for you to see them. So don't go too far to the other
They're
side.
working on it. That's exactly my point. You see,
Right.
people see interceptions. I see lessons learned. Now, if Trevor doesn't learn them, get pissed. Cool. Day friggin' 2 of training camp, he is figuring out what the window looks like for Gabe Davis. And then, honestly, I really think if a corner goes down and a safety still makes an interception, that's good defensive ball. Can we not crap on Trevor and give credit for Dewey having an excellent reaction? That's kind of my take. But, at what point can we give somebody props and not just poop on people?
Well, that's always the push and pull with fans. That's the push and pull with any training camp situation. When, again, we were walking into the training camp with questions on how the defense was going to react, how the defense is going, how quickly they were going to acclimate and learn and show up on the field. And then to see that they've shown up and shown out this early in training camp. Meanwhile, the offense, who we expected to be on their P's and Q's, especially with all the extra attention that they got at the end of last season, to be struggling, while it may be expected, I can also understand it from the fans' perspective where that could be deflating.
Something knowing ball. Anyways, no, listen. I'm joking. But no, listen. That's the thing you and I have talked about leading up to this episode that we wanted to broach for a while. And that's depending entirely on too many new people. Now, again, an element of this is removed because Mitch Morris is going to be expected to make an awfully big difference for being the single guy in the center position. I think that's possible, but not as much as people want. Excuse me. But I think the fact that there's so much of the starting offense that is new arrivals, and then even amongst the backups, Josh Cephas has been making a presence, and been making a little bit of noise in that space as well. Like I think there's an element of this being a new personnel group. That's a thing. Now, to me, the disconnect with Ingram, I was like, what? And then you tell me about a falling coach. Man, can we give Dewey a little credit? Dewey is probably the Duval's favorite backup defensive player. Let the dude make a damn play. Huh?
No. I got into it. I've said this twice in this offseason already. I said it once on OTAs to Jamal St. Cyr, and I also said it again to Demetrius Harvey. Also, at one point, I'm like, dude, I don't know, man. They are playing Dewey a lot more than I expected. And to their point, I want to make sure I say it clearly. They both were like, well, Savage has been limited. They've been moving around, Antonio Johnson a little bit. So Dewey's going to get a little bit more reps. I don't know that it means that he's going to have this, take this big step or get these additional reps. I don't know. He's going to have to show up. And I'm like, all I'm saying is that they're going to keep giving him these reps. And if he shows out, he's that kind of player that it will be hard to take him off the field because he's not going to blow coverages. He may not have the athleticism of the other guys, but if he just makes a few plays, he's not going to blow. That'll give him enough to be on the field. And he's started off solid, and he's making these plays. That sounds like my theory could do. Like, I'm just saying, hey man, we're approaching it.
It's not bad. There's a lot that's correct there, but I'm going to lead Corso you here. Not so fast, my friend. One thing you got to remember is Pat Savage has played a massive metric ton of football.
Yeah.
He ain't going to be participating in a lot of camp, which is good for Dewey, so that if Savage needs a little bit of load management, like Eric Armstead's getting, right? Even he's still showing up at camp. He's just not taking reps, which is fine. I'm not griping about that.
Yeah.
But if Dewey is making the most of his opportunities, when push comes to shove, and if injury disasters happen again as they did at the end of last year, he will be even more ready to fill the gap as he did. I think he was a big part of the Steelers' victory, for example.
This safety room is deep, man. Antonio Johnson, Savage, Cisco, Dewey, and Daniel Thomas, who's the special teams ace, who can still give you some reps at safety.
I remember
that's fine. Yeah, that's a dope group, bro.
How many NFL, and I mean this legitimately, I haven't looked it up or anything. I'm posing the question. Hit us up on Twitter if you have an answer. Throw it in the comments. I don't care. Who's another NFL franchise that has a safety room this deep? I don't think that's a thing, buddy.
Yeah, a deep safety room that's something for sure. But no, but to your original question, I mean, are we depending on these guys, the new faces, sight unseen, too heavily? Because again, if our success truly rests on a Mitch Morris being so significantly better than Luke Fortner, then I would hope that is truly that. And I mean, again, everything that we've seen says that he is from the advanced data and all of those items, and even the tape on occasion as far as the passing game is concerned. Cool. I hope that is the case. We'll see when we get pads on, and we'll see when the joint practices come. Also, if you haven't reserved your tickets to training camp, fans, folks, what are you doing? They still have them available on the website, the 14th and the 15th. The joint practices against the Bucks. Get on that. Come on, man. Y'all fooling out here. But also, yeah, like BTJ, Gabe Davis, if they have Devin Duvernay, if they have slower acclimation periods or slower times trying to get on the same page with Trevor, like Calvin Ridley did, that could mean that could be a problem. I would just say, just from the offensive perspective, we've seen it already. That could be a serious issue.
I don't know. I'll be more anxious to see what happens when they open up the field for 11-on-11. We see BTJ get a chance to stretch things a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that'll be fun. But yeah, anyways, we understand your concerns. We also ask you, please, fans, please, Duval Devout, step from the ledge. We love you too much. Don't do it.
Yeah, man. That's what I'm saying. Go and take a drink, take a weekend. Just don't watch the highlights. It's fine for one day and come back when they get pads on, and let's see if you still feel the same way. Okay?
Copy that. Travis Holmes, tell the world.
Oh man.
You didn't think we got there that fast, did you?
No, I did not. I did not at all. I had to look at the time. You can find me on all the socials. Travis D. Holmes on there we go. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all the socials. You can find my writings. Yeah, I had to figure out where it was. There we go. Yes.
It's hard. It's
You can find all my writings with the team over at Big Cat Country, covering the Jaguars, breaking news, obviously the training camp observations and takeaways with all the highlights. If you miss any day, feel free to go back and take a look. They're always there. And we also cover the press media availability with the coaches. Again, yesterday was Coach Nielsen. Today will be offensive coordinator Press Taylor. So take a look for that and
we're going to be calling plays.
Yes, and we should have the observations article posted right about now as you're watching this. So finish this episode and go and take a look at that and find out what happened today.
That is
where can you be found, sir?
That is meta AF, Travis D. Holmes. Of course, I'm Kyle Nash, the student of the game. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Threads at the SOTG. Find me on Facebook as the student of the game. Check out my writings with Jaguars on SI, the black and gold banneret, and the 3-point conversion, as well as the Student of the Game podcast. Don't worry, sir. The AFC South is coming on August 21st. You're coming, man. But the division we're looking at is the NFC South this coming Wednesday. So check that out, 9 p.m. Eastern. That should be a fun time all the way around. Travis, I got to tell you, it was a great time at camp. Check out the Duval Dive YouTube channel. Get the likes and subscribe in. Check out the Duval Dive TikTok. Many thanks, of course, to Satoba Media and the Sports Den. Or I keep getting it wrong. Is it the Media Den or is it the Sports Den? Help me out.
It's Sports Den or the Den Media Group. Same.
See, it's the. Anyways, check them out. They take care of us. It's a good time. Of course, check out also our friends at the Huddle Up Inc. podcast, as well as A7BN Sports. Listen, an honor, joy, and privilege, everybody, to walk you through this early portion of Jacksonville Jaguars training camp. But until next time, everyone, class dismissed.